Hoi, what is up people, and welcome to my 100 subscriber special video. Probably the hardest video I've ever did, so for me the hardest because I will talk about something that was really hard for me. A lot harder than the mistakes on my fitness journey and my mistakes with the SARMs. So I will get right into it, but before I start I would like to thank everyone that has subscribed to my channel. So 100 subscribers might seem like a small number, but for me it's a lot, because if you put 100 people in a room, 100 people is a large group for me. So reaching 100 subscribers is definitely a milestone for me, and yeah, I'm grateful for everyone that supports me or subscribes to my channel, because YouTube already saved my life, and that will be the title of the video. So starting YouTube saved my life, and I will also talk about why exactly I started YouTube and how I was able to start it. So to understand why YouTube saved my life, we have to go back to 2017. So in my transformation video I described a little bit my journey as a child and how it was for me as a child growing up overweight and all that stuff. And if you haven't watched that, I highly recommend you watching it, because it is a little piece of the puzzle that why starting YouTube saved my life. So it helps if you watch it before that video. But I will start this video on the period where I left school, so therefore 2017, and at that time I had no clue what I want to be or what I want to do after school. I think a lot of people struggle with that, because if you haven't seen a lot of places or workplaces or tried different things, it's very hard to decide what you will do, and especially if you don't have any major talents, like it was the case with me. So in school I wasn't really good at anything in particular, so I was a mediocre student. I only did what I had to do. I hadn't problems in school, so I really had to learn only a tiny little bit, and the grades were okay. So it wasn't that I had to study hours for an exam or something. I did little bit and it always was enough, so I didn't have any goals in school, and therefore I wasn't focused on school in particular, because I always knew that most things that were taught in school you don't need in life anyway, so I wasn't really the guy that wanted to have the best grades or something. So after I finished my exams from the school, I went to a hotel management school, so I worked a little bit as a cook and as a waiter, and I've only chosen that school because as a child I like cooking, and I thought, why not being a cook? So like after leaving school I had like in summer and autumn I had free time, because I wanted to take a break from learning and working, and I wanted just to live the moment and to enjoy life. So I partied every weekend, drank a lot of alcohol, did a lot of fitness, went to festivals. We also had a big friends group that were all into fitness, so we had a lot of fun and it was really a cool time. But I knew that this time was only short-lived, and I knew that somehow I have to earn money at some point. And my mindset in that year was just, let's enjoy 2017, and what comes after that comes after that. So like I said, I only lived in the moment and enjoyed life. Then in the winter I started working as a cook, because it was one of the only jobs I was qualified for after leaving school, and going to college wasn't an option for me because there wasn't any topic I was interested in except nutrition, but later to that. And I started working as a cook. You probably saw it in the transformation video. That wasn't really good, because at that point fitness was a big part of my life, and it wasn't really benefiting my fitness lifestyle, because like I said in the transformation video, what I wrote down, I had a lot of stress, and I also quickly realized that I wasn't the best cook. So I'm very clumsy. I have a coordination deficit, if you can say that. So basically I have two left hands, so I'm pretty terrible when working with my hands. And yeah, I quickly realized that I wasn't good enough to be a cook, and that made everything worse because I was slow and we had to prepare a lot of stuff and I wasn't able to prepare it in time, and man, it was really a hard time. It was really tough, and I was really happy when I finally left that job. Nothing against the place I worked in, it is really a lovely hotel, but working in a kitchen isn't really for me, or like I said, I'm terrible at that. And after working so many hours a week, I decided to join the factory because a lot of my friends that were in that friends circle worked in the factory, and they always said it's pretty chill there and you only work 40 hours a week, you always have free time and on the weekends. And yeah, I was pretty confident that things will improve in the factory, and it really did in the beginning. So I could finally start going out again, meet my friends, have time for fitness. And yeah, basically in the first 3 months I really enjoyed it. But as soon as I realized that I had to do the same exact things every day on work, and it won't change anytime soon because I was in that department and it was really hard to get out of that department in a factory, I realized that it felt a little bit like in the kitchen, so it felt like a prison sentence to me, and always the same time, always I have to be at that time doing that exact work and always having that schedule. And I don't know, man, it didn't bother me in school. I really wasn't such a big school hater, so I enjoyed the time there. Sure, sometimes it was boring and the exams, I also was a little bit anxious about that, but in general I had a pretty fun time in school, so I always prefer school time over work. So I would prefer going to school if I would get paid instead of going to work, because in school you can at least learn some things that maybe interest you, like history or geography. I was always interested in. And at work, most of the times I'm doing just meaningless, for me, meaningless work where I don't feel that I'm providing something. So I began reading and reading about how could I find the work that fits to me, or how can I find my purpose or mission in life. And to find out that, I decided to go work and traveling to Australia after that half a year of factory, because I had a little money on the side and I thought it was the perfect time to do that, and maybe I'll get some clarity about what I wanted out of life or what I'm doing in the future. And that was really a good decision and a good experience for me, but it got me on the wrong path, if you can say that, because I decided to follow my passion for football and transfers, because I always like to inform myself about football transfers, so to which club a player drafts and yeah, stuff like that. So I decided to pursue a career in sports journalism after work and travel in Australia. So when I came back after work and travel, I was only 1.5 months there, because I was pretty sure that I want to pursue that. And then I started that, and I started a part-time job as a waiter. And fast forward a few months later, I realized that sports journalism was boring to me, and it was first really hard to get a job, and second, it wasn't like how I thought it would be. Especially because I realized that I like to work with people after starting a part-time job as a waiter, and that was a little savior to me, because that gave me a little direction. So because I knew that I like to work with people, and I also realized that I'm very good in socializing, so I have no problems speaking to new people. It doesn't really bother me. Maybe it sometimes looks that I'm shy, but that's only because I'm introverted, so I really haven't any problem. I can speak with everyone. I'm just always in my head, so I'm an introvert. I gain my energy from the time I spent with myself. Maybe that's why Corona wasn't such a big thing for me, because I could spend my time with myself and I really enjoy that. So yeah, I'm basically an introvert. So after finding out that sports journalism isn't for me, I followed my second passion, and that was nutrition, because I knew I could help people and also learn more about nutrition, where I had some problems in the past. And that was pretty close to what you can call my purpose, but there was a problem in there because I realized that I'm more interested into sports nutrition than nutrition in general. For example, I don't really want to learn the traditional Chinese medicine, or I'm not really convinced about such things, and I'm more interested in how can I improve my nutrition to get the best results in the gym, for example, and not how I can heal my gut or stuff like that. So I'm more into the sports aspect of nutrition than the health nutrition, if you can say that, or if you get what I mean. So quickly after I started studying nutrition, Corona came, and a good friend of mine had the idea to start a fitness blog for our region, so for South Tyrol, a little fitness blog with videos and stuff like that. And I'm so grateful that he had that idea, so shout out to Gochi if you watch this video. I'm really grateful that you had this idea, because it really put me on the right path, if you can say that. I never considered doing something with fitness because I was always afraid, because like I said, I made so many mistakes and I always had that anxiety of what people might think of me. I always thought about, if I start something with fitness, everyone laughs at me and what does he think he is and stuff like that. I always have such strange thoughts, and I also have to deal with anxiety sometimes, and therefore I really never considered that. So I probably wouldn't have started this channel if Goji hadn't had this idea with the fitness blog. So we recorded some videos during the first lockdown, and that was really cool, so I enjoyed that time. For that a lockdown was, it was really a good time for me, because I had time spending on that, learning a lot of things. But then summer came and Corona faded away, so you didn't hear a lot about the illness, and the rules got loose again, and yeah, I basically started to go out again, and I wasn't really productive in that time, and the only thing I did was going to fitness, work and partying. And after summer, Corona came back, a lot of people got ill. Even my father, he was at the intensive care unit in the hospital. He had really a lot of problems with the heart before Corona, and yeah, especially if Corona hits him, he's really prone to that. So I really was afraid that he would die, and I also realized that I could die eventually. So I saw my own mortality for the first time. I don't know why I had that feeling, but that's the case with life. You can go one day out and yeah, maybe a car drives over. Man, my camera just got on standby because I was recording too long. What I wanted to say is that in life you could always die at any moment, so that was the moment I realized that. And I began having a feeling that if I don't get my act together now, things won't end good. And that was the first time in my life that I had suicidal thoughts, because I tried nutrition, I tried sports journalism, but something always felt off. So I knew that if I found my mission or purpose, I could work hours and hours on that craft, but with nutrition and with sports journalism, that wasn't the case. So I was really depressed at that point, and yeah, like I said, I didn't know what to do. That was now the second lockdown that started. My father was in hospital. We were very worried about that. A few weeks after that, my grandpa died. So a lot of things happened there, and I was spending a lot of time walking in the woods and listening to podcasts and reading books. And then I heard the first time about Ikigai. So that's a method in how you can find your purpose in life or your mission. I think you basically ask yourself what you're good at, how can you help the world, and what's your passion or what do you enjoy doing. And then the thing that's in the middle of this circle, maybe I have a picture of Ikigai, I can put it on here. That's the thing you should pursue. And for me, the only solution that came out was fitness. And after hearing that you always should do that thing that scares you the most, because I've read a lot of time that probably that thing is the thing you should do. And then I asked myself, what would be the most scary thing that I could do? And then I quickly realized that starting a YouTube channel and documenting my life and my fitness journey, where I made so many mistakes, and that frustrates me. And I thought maybe that's good, because then I have some pressure on my fitness journey, and maybe that pressure was the thing that I lacked, and therefore I wasn't disciplined enough for me. Therefore I made the mistakes. And I quickly realized I always loved to listen to YouTubers, to watch their videos, and these were my idols, and not people that work a 9-to-5 job or bankers that are successful or whatever. Were always the YouTubers, always the guys that started as a regular guy, and they started years ago. They wasn't good at what they did, but they did it consistently. And now they're at points and living lives they couldn't even imagine. So therefore I quickly realized that I want to be one of those guys. That's the only thing that I wanna be. And because I was at such a low point in my life, I haven't had anything to lose. I already lost a lot of my friends, because I always have the feeling that I don't fit in when I'm with my friends, because like I said, I spend a lot of time in my head. I have always ideas and thoughts, and therefore most of the time I want to be alone. And that's also why I'm such a bad employee, because I'm not good at following instructions, because yeah, like I said, I'm always in my head. I have my own ideas, my own ways to do things, and I hate it if someone gives me instructions and say, now you do that, now you do that. And that's why I believe I'm a terrible employee, but it's okay, because maybe I should be working for my own, and that's basically why I started YouTube. I would lie if I would have started YouTube not to make an income in the future, but I don't care how long it takes. If it takes 3 years, fine. If it takes 5 years, fine. If it takes 10 years, I'm also okay with that, because there's no other option for me, because I would work at a 9-to-5 or a job like that anyways, because I have to generate some income. So I'm so grateful that I'm in a position where I can risk that, where I can risk my life on pursuing things that maybe won't work out, but maybe if they do, I would be so proud of myself that I started it and took that risk at a young age to follow what my gut tells me. Another thing that really helped me before I started with YouTube was this book, Unscripted, from MJ DeMarco. It is probably the book that helped me the most in my life, because it isn't a book that wants to sell you any course or something. It really helps you on your journey to go unscripted, and unscripted means escaping the rat race, or escaping your 9-to-5, or escaping the system. Basically it shows you other paths, so you don't have to follow the normal path that everyone says. So after school you have to find a job, then you have to work there until you retire. And I was always so afraid of that thought, and like I said before, for me that life wouldn't be enjoyable. For me there's more in life than working a 9-to-5, having maybe 4 to 6 weeks vacation to see the world, and it basically isn't for me. I want to see the world, I want to live on my own, I want to be my own boss. I want freedom, man, and for me that's not freedom. But I don't want to hate on that system, because a lot of people are happy with that, and that's good for you. Everyone's different, and I would also like to enjoy a 9-to-5, because it would be way more easier and not such a big struggle. So if you're happy with a 9-to-5, then it's perfect, then you have won. But yeah, for me that's not the case, and therefore I will work my ass off. For me, honesty is pretty important, and that's why I created this channel, so I will always be transparent and say my honest opinion, because I think that should be the case in a democracy democracy, and I think YouTube is a great platform to provide such things or to provide your own opinion. I know that was such a long video, but I cannot keep it short. I always talk and talk. But basically what I want to say is 2021, we had a lot of freedom. It was most of the time lockdown and everything, but for me 2021 was by far the best year, and we are only in June. So starting YouTube really saved my life. I was never so happy with my life. I can finally say that I love my life, and I wasn't able to say that since 2017. I really hated my life. Between that and those 3 years were such a struggle, but now I can really enjoy life, and although I'm working a lot, I sometimes have the feeling that I can't handle it all. I'm so grateful to have found my mission, because I know some people won't find it because at some point they give it up and they forget how to live. They only vegetate around, and I didn't want to end like this. So I think it was crucial for me to reach that point on where I had these suicidal thoughts, because otherwise I wouldn't have started YouTube. And another thing that I wanted to add is that the job that I have, I'm pretty grateful for. So I can't say that I hate my job or something. It's just like I hate the system that says you have to get a normal job. That's the only option, because I think in school they teach you like that, and also the media teaches you like that. But we are in 2021, we have so many opportunities to make money, so you don't have to spend working on someone else's dream. So I think that's pretty important to understand. And like I said, I love my job. I have flexible working hours. I just work 30 hours a week. I love the team that I work with. I love the people that come visit the restaurant, and I like working with people, so don't get me wrong. But I need to start my own things, and therefore at some point I will leave that job if that will turn out good. If it not, I will stay at the job. But that isn't a problem for me. It's just I don't want to work 9 to 5 or full time again, because it made me so miserable. And I know a lot of people now will think, oh, he's just lazy, he's just from that new generation that don't want to go to work. But people have to understand it isn't easy if you feel so lost at a place, and if it makes you so unhappy and miserable. It's easy to say if you found a job that you really like that working is easy, but I think you have to be in a situation where you get a lot of pressure and a lot of stress to maybe realize that working at a job shouldn't be your life and it shouldn't be your identity. So, like I said, it was really hard for me to talk about that, because that was the biggest struggle I had so far in my life, because I've thought for years that I won't escape that situation and that I'm stuck in that with that problem my whole life. But luckily I found my mission, my purpose, and I think my story can be very helpful for young people that are maybe in the same situation. And if someone watches it and maybe they are lost or have suicidal thoughts, maybe it can give them some perspective that things will get better, especially if you find the thing that you should pursue, or if you take on some responsibility. So I wanna end this video right here. It's such a long video. So if you have watched the whole video and reached that point, congratulations, because I don't think a lot of people have watched the whole video. But thank you if you watched it, and please leave a like if you think it was helpful. Like I said, it's a hard thing for me to talk about, and therefore it was so unstructured. Maybe I can do a video in the future where I can provide you more information in a shorter video, because like I said, I repeat a lot of things and I'm struggling with that, but I hope I can improve on that. But now that's it. Thanks for watching my 100 subscriber special video. I think we will see us next Sunday hopefully, and have a nice week and goodbye. Vielen Dank.